Hi everyone, it's Matt from The Pen Habit. Welcome back to another video. And in today's video, we're going to be going back to Kaweco. Kaweco pens are German-made pens. I've already reviewed a few of them. So I've reviewed the Dia 2, the All-Rounder, and the All-Sport Stonewash. I've liked all of them. All of them have had things I like and don't like. The one I really liked thus far is the Dia 2, which rather than return to Kaweco, I actually purchased from them because I liked it so much. Today's pen is the Skyline Sport. Now, the Skyline Sport, the Sport series is the shorter pens that Kaweco makes, and the Skyline Sport is one of their plastic models as opposed to the All Sport, which is made of aluminum. So let me walk you through the pen, and stay tuned afterwards because I'll have a little announcement about what's happening to this pen when I'm done with it. So, first of all, let me start off by saying thank you to Kaweco for providing this. No other compensation was provided for this review, and the opinions expressed are my own and not impacted by the fact that this pen was provided free for review purposes. All right, so comes in a cardboard sleeve with the Kaweco logo on the top. Slide it out, and it comes with the gold metal Altoid tin, I call it, version of the Kaweco case. You open it up, and inside is the Skyline Sport and a couple of ink cartridges, one of the ink cartridges I've put in the pen already. This is the standard Sport profile, so nothing too out of the ordinary here. Kind of common. You've got the octagonal cap to keep it from rolling around. Thin. We've got the Kaweco medallion in the top here. Kaweco Sport, embossed in a silver metallic finish here. And then at the bottom of the cap, you've got a little bit of knurling there. Like most of the Sport, in fact, I think all of the Sport pens, this does not come with a clip, but a clip is available in both silver and gold finishes that you can slide onto the top of the pen. Pen comes apart and is really meant to be posted. When it's posted, it is a normal length. It's too short for me to use unposted, especially if I hold it on the section here. But I normally hold it a little bit further up because of the way my grip is. So, nice pen. This is the gray Sport version. They come in a bunch of different colors. I believe there's a kind of a minty green one, a white one, a black one. They sent me the gray one, and chances are this would have been the color I would have picked had I ordered it myself. So, let me get this out of the way right up front. I like this pen. It's short, and I'm not a huge fan of shorter pens myself. A lot of people really like these pens though. And it's easy to see why. This particular pen came with an extra fine steel nib. The nib units are interchangeable, so you could pull this nib out and put a different nib in, including the new gold nibs that Kaweco now has available from some retailers. I believe Fonto Plumo, which is a sponsor of the Pen Habit, is one of the places where you can get the gold nibs for these. But just thought I would mention that. So let me go through the specs on the pen. You are looking at, when capped, the pen is a very short 105 millimeters, 105.5. Uncapped, it's only 100.4. And when posted, a very reasonable 131.8. Section's a little on the narrow side, but not too bad at 9.5 millimeters. The barrel is 11 millimeters, and the cap at its widest point would be 13.4 millimeters. And then it's, being plastic, a very lightweight pen at 10 grams capped or posted, and 6 grams uncapped or unposted. One other thing I should mention is this pen does use standard international short cartridges. Most converters will not fit in this pen, nor will long cartridges, the standard international long cartridges. Kaweco only sells the short cartridges, so if you stick with Kaweco cartridges, they'll work. I believe Private Reserve has short cartridges, Waterman, Montblanc, I believe they all have short cartridges, just make sure. Now, there is a squeeze converter, which is basically just a little plastic bulb on a metal ring that will plug into this. Some people have used. And I believe this pen can be used as an eyedropper as well. Even though I have not done it, I believe it can be done. You would need to probably put some silicone grease on the threads between the section and the barrel, or perhaps even get a little rubber O-ring. But the pen is plastic, so generally there shouldn't be any harm in doing that for this pen. So overall, I find the Sport Series to be great little workhouse pens. They are workhorse pens, not workhouse. They're a little smaller than I generally care for, but nice pocket-sized pens. They work well. I have yet to have a nib that has been bad on them, and I've tried 6 or 7 of them so far this season. Overall, I like this pen quite a bit. It's a nice little pen. And let's go ahead and do a writing sample so I can show you how it writes. This is the Kaweco Skyline Sport. We have a steel, extra fine nib. And this is, without doubt, the finest nib I have ever used. I'm not a big fan of super fine nibs, but this is the finest. And I'll get to the nib quality here in just a second. And the ink is also Kaweco, and it is the Kaweco cartridge, one of the cartridges that came with the pen, and it's their royal blue color. All right, so let's do a bit of writing. Here is our quote. All right, so as I mentioned, this is an extra fine nib. There's a little tiny bit of line variation if you push it, but not much, and you can see I just made it railroad. So steel nib, there's not going to be a lot of flex here. I was very surprised though. Generally speaking, extra fine nibs tend to be a little scratchy. It's very hard to get smoothness on a nib point that fine. And while this is going to be wider than, say, a Japanese extra fine, which is going to be very, very narrow, this is finer than I would ever go personally with a fountain pen. Despite that, I was surprised at how smooth an experience it was. There was no scratchiness, there's a little bit of feedback, and it does tend to run a little dry. But for people who like to use these extra fine nibs, running a little dry is actually a good thing. And the fact that this nib is able to be as smooth as it is, running a little on the dry side, that's good. This is a pen you could very easily use on inexpensive paper and not really have any problems with it, because it's not putting out huge amounts of ink and it's got a nice fine line. Really quite a nice writing experience. I still don't love extra fine nibs, but I do like this. I was surprised by this. It was a much nicer writing experience than I was expecting. Very scratchy upside down writing. You can see the wetness test here. It's not very, very wet, but you're not going to find a super wet extra fine nib. Those two things don't really go together very well. So all in all, nice little pen. It writes well. It's not the most expensive thing. It's nice and pocket-sized if you like these smaller pens. And generally, these Kaweco pens seem to be very well made. You don't hear about problems with the parts cracking or it's that well-known German engineering seems to have the manufacturing process figured out. Now, as I mentioned, one of the things I was happy about was that Kaweco allowed me to keep this and one other pen, and as a result, I'm going to be doing a giveaway for this Kaweco Skyline Sport on the Pen Habit blog. So if you are watching this video shortly after it came out, please head over to Pen Habit, or you can go over to penhabit.com to follow me on Twitter and Facebook. I will announce giveaways there. I'm actually going to have a couple of giveaways and a big raffle at the end of the season for folks who have been donating via Patreon or PayPal. I've got some great pens coming up. This one, you don't have to donate to enter the giveaway, but I'll have the giveaway form up on Pen Habit soon, and you can do the giveaway and hopefully win. This pen will also come with probably, I'm guessing, 12 to 15 ink cartridges of all of the colors of ink that Kaweco makes. They have given me packets of ink cartridges to go along with this pen. So a huge thank you to Kaweco for the giveaway. Make sure you're following on Twitter, Facebook, Google+. I'll announce it there, or head over to penhabit.com to join the conversation. As always, thank you so much for watching, and we will see you here next time on The Pen Habit. Bye.